Hey guys, Jesse Lee here, and today I wanted to talk to you about what makes a great drummer. Now, why do we want to know the answer to this question? Well, if you're like me, you don't want to starve, so you want to get called back for gigs, right? You want to play really good music and have an enjoyable experience with other people. Sometimes I can relate to you guys on this. This is something that happens where you are kind of left wondering, like after you play a gig or after you do a public performance of some sort, how well you were perceived by the audience. That's always been a question of mine. I'm really insecure actually in that way, and just, did I do a good job? Am I going to get called back for this gig? Does this band like the way I play? Do they want to have me as a drummer again? So here's my few tips on what I think makes a great drummer. The first thing I would say, and the most important thing, is a matter of humility. And by that, I mean, are you serving the music, right? So you could have all the chops in the world, but if you're not serving the music, it's not really gonna matter. If you don't know how to get out of the spotlight, essentially. There are some amazing drummers that I know, amazing talent. And because they kind of are spotlight hogs, no matter what they do, they actually don't get called for gigs because they're a little bit too focused on themselves and trying to, perform for their own sake, and make all their own Instagram videos having the cameras pointed at them, But if you're in a pop act, it's all about the lead singer. Let's be honest. If you're in a salsa band, let's be honest, it's about providing music for people to dance to. If you're in a soul group, same thing with a pop, it's more about the lead singer and the lyrics than anything else. If you're in a jazz band, different technique required. That's the first thing, is a sense of humility about the type of music you're playing. What does it need? Not what do you need? Now, the second tip I have is having that knowledge of what is required in the music to make that music good. Then you could take the technique and accommodate that. So depending on the type of music, in certain situations, chops really takes away from it. Like in R&B, if you had a drum solo every single song, it would get really annoying to the people who listen to it, right? However, in jazz, it's very much required that you're able to solo. And oftentimes you go to a jazz, like a live performance, and there is a drum solo every single song. So it just kind of depends on the situation at hand. What type of music am I playing? How much technique does it require? So don't get this mixed up with me saying chops are bad. Chops are not bad. If you're called to play a really complex form of music that requires a lot of endurance, you're going to need those. One of my favorite drummers is Bernard Purdy, perfect example. Now, he can solo, he can play, but when you listen to him on all his hit tracks, there's a reason why they call him the hit maker, because he grooves like nobody's business. And this is my third point, is you have to have good time. If you don't have good time as a drummer, nobody is going to want to play with you. I'll just tell you this from experience. I actually had a drum teacher that when I got to a certain level of being seasoned and a little more professional, he started recommending me for gigs. And every once in a while in a drum lesson, he would sit me down and say, okay, Jesse, you were rushing quite a bit on that last gig. And I know that because the piano player told me that. So I've had this happen so many times, where people come to me. Luckily enough, if you have a good musical community, people are going to work with you. But if you don't have good time and a sense of humility and an appropriateness for what the music needs, most of the time people are just not going to call you back. So that's the reason I'm making this video, is I want to let you guys know, why it's important to know these things, because you want to get called as a musician. You don't want to starve. That's a main motivation. So these are my tips for what makes a great drummer. If you guys, I probably missed some stuff. So if you think of anything, please comment in the section below. Let me know what you think makes a great drummer. And as always, what helps us here in YouTube land is if you guys comment, share, and subscribe. So tick that little bell icon. And that way you can keep updated with all my stuff that comes out in the future. Anyway, other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.